Women are a double-edged sword. They can make you feel like you're in pure ecstasy. And in a split second, they can pull you into the darkest hell you've ever experienced. This is the gift of women. This is the reason why, as a monk, you will never reach the depths of hell. The depths that you need to go to, like Christ descending into the underworld before his ascension, before rising again. The feminine knows how to destroy your ego in a way that you can't do by yourself. The amazing thing is, it doesn't matter how good your track record is. Doesn't matter how many girls you've slept with. Doesn't matter how much you know how to manipulate, wrap a woman around your finger. When you lock in with a priestess, with a queen, she will blow your track record apart in a split second. All those years of mastering the right thing to say, the right way to act, acting alpha, acting like you're in control, being stoic. The queen will see through all of that well-practiced control. And she will find your hot buttons faster than you can blink. This is the gift. You'll see how far you've really come on your journey. The high places will be made low. Now, if you're on this path so that you can not only become the best man you can be, but so that you can find a priestess, so that you can find a woman and practice alchemy with her and fast track your journey to enlightenment, to self-realization, then you're going to be humbled by this process, like I'm being humbled. You can't hide. When you lock in, when you commit, especially when you start living with a woman, that pride, that ego, that false sense of humility, that false righteousness, it all topples down. And you'll be questioning who you thought you were. This is a good thing. David Data talks about this in The Way of a Superior Man. She does not give a fuck about your track record. If you've been good to her for 10 years and you turn around and you make one wrong move, she'll go from loving you to hating you in an instant. That's the feminine. That's the gift of the feminine. It's inviting you to stop acting like a man and actually do the deep, painful work. Very painful, very confronting, very uncomfortable, to become a man. Until every shred of your being has been purified through suffering, a lot of the time, through pain, until every shred of your being has been crucified, put through the fire, until there's nothing left but integrity. There's nothing left but truth. And even then, that'll be questioned, tested again and again and again, until you reach a point where there's no more doubt. This is the gift of the feminine. A truly feminine woman, especially if you're practicing retention, and she doesn't quickly move into the dominant partner in the relationship, which I would say is what happens for 99% of modern relationships. I wouldn't exaggerate that either. I don't feel that I'm exaggerating when I say that probably 99% of modern male-female relationships are female-dominated. Think about how many guys are actually practicing retention. Maybe 1% of all men in the world. Now think about how many of those 1% or less are practicing God mode, actually letting go of lust completely. Now you're getting closer to 1 in 1,000. That means probably 1 in 1,000 men are actually truly dominant. Not just pretending to be dominant, not just fooling themselves, but actually have more vital life force than their female partner, because they're not constantly draining themselves through lust. Now, if you are one of those men, even in the very early stages, then you are going to go through the crucible. It's easy to be a submissive man. It's easy. Even though it sucks, even though you probably have no self-respect or dignity, it's much easier to be a submissive man. I see even alpha male types, strong, outspoken, gruff, loud. I see even these men being subs, being submissive, being bossed around by their woman. Because behind the tough exterior, the crazy thing is, they actually still love being dominated. I see this a lot. It's crazy. Even men with high net worths, behind closed doors, many of these guys love to be dominated, love to be ruled by a woman, because they haven't done the spiritual work to be the leader. They've done the physical work, they've done the materialistic work on the external, which is no easy feat. Props and respect to them for that. But when it comes down to the core truth, the spiritual core of who they are, they're still little subs. They still haven't mastered their sexuality. So they're still under the control, under the pendulum, under the hypnosis of the pussy. I'm telling you, brother, if you're on this path, practicing God mode, practicing this properly, you are less than 1 in 1,000. And as such, you are going to attract a highly feminine woman. And then she's going to test you even deeper. This is where the sexual alchemy comes in. The sexual dynamic between a highly masculine and a highly feminine woman just gets deeper and deeper. If the man is holding his seed, it just gets deeper and deeper. The dance, the testing. Oh, so you're not giving me your seed? She thinks subconsciously. Okay. So how else can I test you? How else can I weaken you? What other soft spots do you have? What other buttons do you have? You're not going to give me a seed. So I need to find what you're hiding, what your weakness is. Samson and Delilah. She came to him again and again and again until he finally submitted. Samson is the archetype of the alpha male who was actually weak inside because he hadn't done the spiritual work. This is extremely deep shit we're dealing with. This is deep spiritual warfare we're talking about. You want to find yourself a feminine woman. You want to stop mucking around with these short-term flings, with this promiscuous sex, because you can fool yourself into thinking that you're an alpha when all the while you're actually an infrasexual. Study The Perfect Matrimony by Samael Aun-Weor. He talks about infrasexuals, people who believe that they're above sex. A lot of these promiscuous guys, and I was one of them, believe that because they got a lot of notches on their belt, that they're somehow sex gods, when the reality is they are infra. They're actually afraid of real sex. They're actually afraid of going beneath the surface, exposing their own heart, being exposed to the depths of their own pain. This is what sexual alchemy is about. When you lock in with a woman, when you expose your soul, your spirit to a woman, you open yourself up to the full force of the feminine, which never happens with promiscuous sex. Did you notice that? It's just shoot your load and wave goodbye. Add a notch to your belt, think you're a hero, on to the next one. Never truly penetrating her spirit. Never allowing her to open your spirit. This is kindergarten stuff. This is juvenile, teenage type stuff. But if you want to be a man, it's time to enter in.